In everyday life, there's overrated things. Overrated shoes, overrated shows, overrated movies, overrated books, overrated cars. The NBA is no different. There are many players who are overrated for specific reasons. That has led me to make this video where I'll be naming the 5 most overrated players in the NBA. Before I name these players, I just want to make it clear that just because I say a player is overrated doesn't mean he's a bad player. And before you overreact to me calling a player overrated, can you please just listen to the reasons I said? Because sometimes I won't call a player like entirely overrated. I'm just going to say a certain group of people who think or say this overrate the player. Just give me a chance, but I know it's about to get a lot of dislikes. But before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like down this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to show over 3,000 subscribers, also drop a comment on this video as I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. The first player I want to talk about who I think is overrated is Jalen Green of the Houston Rockets, the rookie. And I know you're probably thinking, how can a guy who hasn't even played a full year in his career be overrated? And to be honest, Jalen Green just has a huge, strong fan base. He's probably the most popular rookie. And I think he was overhyped a little bit in his rookie year, because before even the draft happened, people were saying that Jalen Green was already better than Cade Cunningham and all that stuff. Simply not true from what we've seen. And as of late, I'll give Jalen Green his credit. He's been playing really well since the All-Star break. But people have now been using that to say how he's been the best rookie this year and how he should be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. I've generally heard people say that, and that's simply not true. If we're being honest, as a whole season, Jalen Green probably hasn't been a top 7 rookie, because Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, Josh Giddey, Chris Duarte, Herb Jones, and Ayo Dosunmu are all rookies who have been better than Jalen Green at this point. Don't get it twisted. I think Jalen Green has the potential to be a top 3 player in this class. I think he has superstar potential, but simply he has not been great in his rookie year. And even though he's averaging 16 points, he's one of the least efficient players in the NBA. And don't get me wrong, since the All-Star break, he's definitely been a top 3 rookie. But him actually being in the Rookie of the Year race and people claiming that is just overrating him way too much. And people saying that he's better than guys like Mobley, Barnes, Cunningham, Wagner, and some other guys like over the course of his whole rookie year is just overrating how good his rookie year has been, because it honestly hasn't been that amazing. It's had some really good moments and it's had some really bad moments. But regardless, I still think Jalen Green's a future star. Now, this player I'm going to talk about is going to get me a lot of hate, but the next overrated player I have is Steph Curry of the Warriors. And before I say why I think Steph Curry is a little bit overrated, I just want to say that I still think Steph Curry is a top 5 player in the league. I still think he's the best point guard in the league. He's a confirmed superstar. But the reason I think he's a little bit overrated is due to the fact that I haven't seen too much people get on Steph's head for the terrible slump he has been, and people think that Steph Curry has been a top 5 player this season and that he should be in the MVP conversation. That simply is not the case. He has not been a top 5 player this season based on how he's been playing. I still think he's a top 5 player just because he's Steph Curry. But for example, Kevin Durant has been better this season. LeBron's been better than him this season. Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid have been better than him this season. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been better than him this season. Luka Doncic has been better than him this season, and so has Ja Morant. That is 7 players who I named who have clearly been better than Steph Curry. And there are going to be people who disagree with me, and that just shows how overrated his year is this year. I don't think half of those players are actually better than Steph Curry, but with the way he's been playing, they are better than him. If you just look at the numbers he's putting up, he's averaging the lowest amount of points since his first MVP year. He's having the worst field goal percentage he's ever had since really the start of his career. He's having the only year of his career where he's shooting less than 40% from 3. Simply has not been amazing, and we all know how bad he had that terrible stretch where he went months without back-to-back 30-point games, had multiple games shooting below 30% from the field, and had games where he missed 10 threes. Simply, he's not in the MVP conversation, because even though the Warriors have a lot of wins and he's the best player on that team, he just has no MVP case right now. And guys like Embiid or Giannis, Doncic or Morant have been better than him this season, and they should be above him in the MVP race. Regardless, I still think Steph Curry is great, but too much people are trying to like overshadow how not great he has been this season. Still been an all-star of a player, a superstar, but I feel like too much people are viewing him as last year Curry, because last year Curry arguably was the best player in the league, but right now he's not in that conversation. Still great though, don't get it twisted. Next, I want to put Steph Curry's backcourt partner in crime in Klay Thompson. Yes, I'm aware Klay Thompson didn't play basketball for 2 years, but the reason I think he's become overrated is because when Klay was returning from his injury, people were acting like Klay was the best shooting guard in the league. People didn't realize that Klay is basically just the best version a role player can ever be. Not saying he's just a role player. At his best, he's still an all-star level guy, but at the end of the day, a prime Klay Thompson, in my opinion, is not better than a guy like Zach LaVine, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, DeMar DeRozan this season. Probably not even better than Jalen Brown, in my opinion. And I feel like people are acting as if Klay Thompson was on James Harden's level. And simply since returning from injury, Klay has not been amazing, and he's actually hurt the Warriors in multiple games where he's been taking reckless shots that simply have not been going in. He's averaging 18 points, shooting 41% from the field and 35% from the three. And to be honest, I'm not even mad at that start, because that's a better start you could have expected, because at least he's like still scoring and stuff, and his 3-point shot's not absolutely terrible. But with the way Klay has been looking like as of late, I actually think Klay's going to get back to his usual self by playoff time. What I'm saying is I think people have glossing over and like overrated how good Klay Thompson actually was at his best. And like they were overrated how good the Warriors were going to be when he's returning, because I heard people saying they would be unstoppable and stuff. The next player I want to talk about who I think is overrated is Anthony Edwards of the Timberwolves. I know some people are going to say I'm crazy for this, but the reason I think he's overrated is pretty simple. It's because when Patrick Beverley compared Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan, he said that like he could be the Michael Jordan of this generation and like be as good as him and stuff like that. And I saw some people call Patrick Beverley crazy, but not enough. I saw a lot of people agreeing with it and saying that he could become Michael Jordan. And I'm not here to say Anthony Edwards won't become a superstar, because I actually think he's a future superstar in the NBA. He might even be the best shooting guard of this upcoming generation. But saying he has the potential to be the best player in NBA history is way too crazy. And I saw too much people saying that he could be that. And I think people who view him as a guy who could be the best player in NBA history is overrating him. Edwards is a phenomenal player, and he's having a phenomenal second year. He's one of my favorite players, but saying he's the next Michael Jordan is just crazy. But regardless, still great. The last and final player I want to talk about who I think is overrated is Lonzo Ball of the Chicago Bulls. And yes, I understand Lonzo Ball has really improved since coming into the league. One of the better shooting point guards in the league, one of the better defenders at his position. But people are acting like he's having the best year of his career in Chicago, when he simply is not. His best year was last year in New Orleans. People are acting like he took his game to like the next level, how like he's been way better since being on the Bulls. He has been good on the Bulls, I'm not gonna lie, but people are just acting like he's like been playing like a near all-star seminar, he's taking his game to the next level. He really has not. He's just been the same player he was in New Orleans, which is one of the best role players in the league, and I think he's really valuable to the Bulls. But I think people are a little bit exaggerating how good he's been this year, because he's still only averaging like 13 points and 5 rebounds, and I know, and like 5 assists, and I know like his impact goes way beyond the stats. All I'm saying is the way he's talked about this year, you would have thought he's averaging like close to 20 points the way people are hyping him up. Still a great player though, and still a great role player. I hope he gets back from his injury well. But to conclude this video, I already know this video is going to get a lot of dislikes, but if you actually listen to my reasoning, I would like to hear you point out where I'm wrong. I'm not saying any of these players are bad. I gave them all their credit. I just point out in certain aspects that I think they have been overrated by a certain, like a decent amount of fans. Doesn't mean the player is bad or anything close to that. But regardless, I know it's about to have a lot of dislikes. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think these players are overrated. Drop a like on this video, that would my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, when it's below 3,000 subscribers. Also, drop a comment on this video because I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro.